as if we're on that, and then we can go. Excellent. And then one more for luck. So we stab, slash, stab, slash, stab, slash. Cool. I think it's really, when I've been learning this, the first off was I was just doing movements. And then when I started to pay attention as to what I was actually doing with the knife, it made the techniques an awful lot better and made it click an awful lot more to me. So hopefully it will to you. So just to confuse yourselves, left hand, left foot. This is where we all fall over. Cool. So from the hip, so we stab, slash, stab, slash, stab, slash. Cool. I might as well do 3 of these because we're getting quite good at that. So stab, slash, stab, slash, stab, slash. Excellent. And last one, stab, slash, stab, slash, stab, slash. Excellent. So back to right and right. So this is in the sack grip. We reverse it to Pakal grip. Then it swaps the slabs for the stashes. You know what I mean? Too many years of having stashes, but there we go. So what originally was going to be a stab has now become a slash because I've got the length of the blade. So I'm slashing up. And then that becomes a stab as I'm ripping it back down. Then it becomes a slash to a stab to a slash to a stab. Okay? Yeah, we'll go through it again. It's confusing, but it's really surreal. So we're slashing, stabbing, slashing, stabbing, slashing, stabbing. And then one more, slashing, stabbing, slashing, stabbing, slashing, stabbing. Excellent. So swap it to the other side. Oh, we're going to fall over by the end of tonight. Cool. So we're slashing, stabbing, slashing, stabbing, slashing, stabbing. Cool. Cliff's frozen. Oh, there he goes. He's reset himself. Oh, he's concentrated really hard then all of a sudden. Okay, so one more. So we're slashing and we can stab. We can slash, we can stab. We can slash and we can stab. Excellent, good. So you do it one way and then you can swap the knife around and do it the other way. It's really confusing, but it works. So in your own time, just whilst I grab a quick slip, try it once. So hang on a minute, we were doing that. If I swap it around, it becomes that. Give it a go. I've got to do it with the other side now so I can catch up on you guys. Cool. Yeah, gives you something to think about. And the whole idea behind these little sessions is because they're only nice and short, it gives us something to think about and play with. And so write it down however you find it the easiest. Do these pictures. But to me, it really helps differentiating between slashing and stabbing with the knife. Suddenly it changed. Rather than me just going through the motions as if it was a stick, I was using the weapon for what it needed to make the weapon be used for. I like Tony's concentration face. It's good.
Oh,
that's fine. That's fine. That's cool, man. So as we went over last week, the next is the 3 separate moves where we can go one side, 2 side, back to the original. And we're doing curving it off, and then this one follows it all the way down and then just pulls it at the end. And then when we pull it at the end, I'm pulling the knife into my stomach so that the blade is sticking out, so that if anyone comes towards me, so if I go like that and miss them, they run into this. Whereas if I'm not paying attention and I just do something daft with the knife, I'm going to end up cutting myself. So we can go 1, 2, 3. That's it. 1, 2, 3. And as you can tell, these are all slashes from the blade. That's it. Swap it over to the other hand and they can be slashes as well. You'll spot that we're doing 2 to the inside and 1 to the outside. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. That's it. Yeah, good. Getting the idea. That's it. And the whole idea behind this stopping, we can still move it on and do things that we want with it, but we want to get used to this blade being pointed towards you and not being all over the place, because I've done it sideways and all sorts, and it could, no, keep it where, yeah, you don't want to disembowel yourself. Doesn't look good, does it? So that's these with the slicing version of it. If we turn it around so that it's then going to be stabbing, and I think this one's really nasty because it feels like it's going to rip the bits. We're ripping it out. Yeah, 1, 2, 3. And then what I'm finding with this one, do the one inside, the one outside, and then when that one comes down the inside again, I turn it, put my other hand behind it. That's it. And the blade is still in the same place, pointing at the same way, and I'm ready to push it into that. Or if I come in and do that and the opponent's coming towards me, they're straight onto that knife again. That's it. 1, 2, 3. There we go. So from the side, 1, 2, 3. That's it. Yeah. Good stuff, because then we're going into my opponent rather than vice versa and end up stabbing myself. Did you just get yourself there, Cliff?
No, man.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to rewatch that just to see Cliff get himself for that. Cool. So yeah, so we've got those bits that you can work on in your own free time now, which is the 2 sets, the 2 movements of it. And then if we reverse it round, it becomes the same. Up to there, down, and then we can do the same with that. So we've got those 2 sets, left and right-handed, forwards and backwards in the blade, and that gives you a whole world. And when I practice that, that's half hour straight away there, just running through those bits and trying to remember them and getting them straight. But we want to do bits of recap and bits of new stuff. So we'll go on to the Patiki jab stuff, which if you've got the 2 knives, brilliant. If not, we can just pretend that you've got 2 knives. It's not the end of the world. I have 2. Well done, Cliff. So when we're holding the knife, we're holding them as if we were boxing, and you'll spot the similarities very shortly once we start doing this. But we're holding the knives so that the blade is pointing forwards and runs along inside of my arm. So they're not sticking out and the blades aren't sticking backwards, because then they've cut me. They're running forwards so that I can roll my arms quite comfortably without cutting myself. If they're forwards, I'm going to cut myself or disarm myself or do something daft like that. But I can quite comfortably rotate these things. And it's not that I'm going to keep it going all the while, but it's the same as when we're stick fighting. If the target's just standing there, you're going to aim at it. Whereas if the target's moving around a little bit more, it makes it a bit harder to hit. So we can get comfortable moving these things. So 3 sections to the jab. We've got the high, the middle, and the low. We're going to start off with our right foot forward and using the knife in our right hand. And we're going to stab as if it's to the head. And if I just try and lean, I clear a bit of distance. But if I lift my rear leg up to counterbalance it, I clear an awful lot more distance. Now, ideally, you want to be doing not so much looking like you're a dog wetting yourself, but if you lift your leg up rather than lift your leg out, And suddenly I can go from that distance to that distance. I can suddenly get an awful lot more, and I've not lost my balance. So you can imagine we're going bang. That's it. Good. Yeah. So we can rotate these and we can do that. Now you can see on this video footage quite nicely, when I do that, I leave all of my underside open, and we know we can go straight up there for the brachial artery, and we don't want that. So we can use the covering hand to cover it and go in the hole. So it's, oh, we got a Mr. Haffenhaffenden. I think I just let him in. Yeah, let a Gary in. Cool. Evening, brother.
Oh, Gary's.
Glad you're with us, Gary. Well done for.
Hello, Gary.
Yeah, I'm only watching.
That's absolutely fine, mate. I wouldn't expect anything more at the moment. It's good to see you. So we'll carry on with this Patiki jab. Oh, as the toys he's been playing with karambits and guns and all sorts. Well done. Excellent. Oh, it is made Balisong as well, butterfly knives. I've got some toys coming to me from Japan. So if they turn up, I will pop one round to you to see if you can do anything with them. I think they're going to need to be made out of like rubberized plastic rather than solid plastic, but we'll see. I'll pop you one round as a laugh and see what you can come up with. So.
I'll tell you what I've got carbon fibre I can print. So if you're super light and sodding strong,
yeah,
it will
pop. Yeah, well, I won't say on this video what they are, but yeah, there's going to be quite fun, I think. So, so we're working on this Patiki jab. These guys have been working with boxing recently, and we wanted to get down to using the knives, and then ironically, the third lockdown kicked in. So the week we were going to be using the knives on the punch bag, we weren't able to. So we're working through this Patiki jab, and so we're holding the knives with the blades towards us so that we can rotate our hands around. So it's just the same as if we were boxing, so it doesn't give us a target. So, and we were just going with the guys, I can lift my back leg up and clear distance, but because it opens up this area, I'm going to put this hand in to make sure that you can't instantly get your knife in the way, nice and simple. So I can clear a lot of distance from here. I can clear this distance to stab the person in the head with my knife. And that hand comes underneath to protect the brachial. Now that's we're going for the head. If I'm going for the hands and the chest torso area, that's a straight, simple strike. Now, all depending on whether my opponent is me or Tony, all depends on what height they are, I can either put my hand underneath or over the top. Now, I would be prone to put it over the top most of the time, so that I'm protecting my neck. So it's exactly the same. The knife strikes forward and the other knife comes in to protect the neck. And then when it comes to the lower area, we're looking at getting into the arteries in the inside of the leg. So we just stab down into that and protect our neck as well, because yeah, we're leaving ourselves open. Let's just pull this forward just a little bit. There we go. So yeah, when I'm going to cut into that area there, I'm striking down into that and I'm bringing that up. So we can roll and we can go to the head. We can go to the chest area or the hands, and we can go to the groin area. So it's head, chest, groin. Head, chest, groin. There we go. And of course, we've got two knives, we've got two sides, we can do it on the other side as well. We can go head, chest, groin. Head, chest, and groin. Excellent. So it gives you something to think about and working on them. Now, with these two knives that we've got working on this side, when we're rolling them,
hello, what do you want?
you say the door just opened magically.
Yeah.
Is that a little furry friend?
She ain't little.
Cool. So we were working on the triangle footwork. So if we are using it's going to be an open triangle because we're not going to have the top going on it, and we're starting at the base. so that I can move from one side to the other side. That makes sense? So it's just a 1 foot going off to that. That's it. So I'm starting at the apex and I move forwards. And there. Excellent. So we can use this footwork to move and be able to strike. That's it. Rotate those hands around. Yeah. And then, of course, we've got the top and the top. Oop, down there. And the middle. And the middle. And the bottom. And the bottom that we can attack. We're still only using that front knife. But exactly the same as when we were striking. I don't need to put them down. We can jab, we can cross. We can jab, we can cross. So as we move to that position, we can then pivot the shoulder and the hips into it as if we were going to be crossing it. And it suddenly opens up the first knife and then the second knife to be able to do the damage. And we're twisting it so that the blades go forwards. Excellent. And then the more relaxed you get with it, the better. Next week, we're also going to be working on pulling the blades back, like we did a lot with the boxing. We first started off with just throwing the punches, and then we learnt to pull them back. And it's exactly the same with the knife. Stabbing the person's easy, but getting it back is the bit that we're going to be working on in future weeks. But at the moment, I just want you getting comfortable with that step and the cross. The step and the cross. That's it. So we can do it. Bang. So let's see how we all look. So if we're starting at the apex, we move off to the right and we can jab to the head and jab to the head. That's it. And then back to the center. Then move off to the left, jab to the head, jab to the head. That's it. And then back to the center. And then we're going off to the right and we're going for the chest and the chest. And to the left and chest and chest. And then we're going off to the right and to the groin and to the groin. Good. And then the left and the groin and the groin. Excellent. So that gives you those little bits to play with as well. So you can start mixing it up and getting comfortable. They don't always have to be the same. It's just when it comes to drilling it, it makes it easier. It makes it better to get that. Now, exactly the same as the slashing cutting drills we were just doing. If you turn the blades round the other way, this makes for the tip of the weapon that we're looking to use. So we can still keep the blades sideways, and then when we move, we're aiming to flick the tip into the opponent's head area. That's it. Into the eyes, really, with this one. That's it. And then we can move into the chest and the hands, where the hands would be if they had a weapon. And then, of course, still going for that nice big artery in the leg. Pum, pum, pum. That's it. So this week, work on slow is smooth, but smooth isn't fast. It's correct, but it isn't fast. So work on doing it slow and smooth to start off with. And then once you're comfortable, then we can build the speed up.